Spooky Luke Harpenbarker coming at you with another fantastic episode of WrestleRoni. You best believe I'm joined by my boy Lawrence, and joining us tonight, I'm excited. I know Lawrence is excited. Huffmanly, how you doing, my man?
Brother, I'm doing great. Been watching the Game Awards. You know, my life is just full of bliss today. How are you guys doing?
Oh,
Doing great.
yeah, man, we're rocking and rolling tonight. Excited to have you on. Since the first time we saw you live at Fairmont State, we said we got to get this dude on the podcast. We got to know everything there is to know about you. You're ultra talented. You obviously know a thing or two about what you're doing in promos and getting yourself over on the internet. So we're super happy to have you.
That means a
Instant
lot. I
fan.
really appreciate
Instant
it.
fan, sir. Instant fan.
Thank you, guys. That honestly, that means a lot to me from someone that over critiques myself and stuff like that. It feels good to hear people say that. So thank
Well,
you.
hey,
Oh, yeah, man.
if you want to feel even better about yourself, listen to what one of your peers had to say about you and referee James Simpson on the prior
Mhm.
podcast. You have some fans down here in West Virginia. I promise you that.
Mm. Yeah, West Virginia is my home, so it's where I wrestle a lot. Um, my main source of wrestling is down in West Virginia, so I love it.
Yeah. And the scene is definitely coming into its own this year. It's an awesome time to be a West Virginia wrestling fan. This
Hmm.
Saturday, RSW Krampus Mania, all kinds of events happening around the area this Saturday. So this is going to drop around the same time as Krampus Mania. So let's go ahead and dive right into that. Well, how you feeling about this Saturday, Krampus Mania? What's your thoughts?
I'm feeling pretty good. I don't know if this is like a spoiler or anything like that, but I was originally supposed to wrestle Jackson Argos.
Mm-hmm.
See,
Mhm.
Jackson Argos is someone I was supposed to wrestle like a few years ago. We sort of started around the same time. I think he started like a year or two before me. I know he resides up in Pennsylvania. He was trained by Lance Storm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in Canada, actually. Um, See, I was supposed to wrestle him a few years ago. That I can't honestly can't remember what happened there. Um, I was supposed to wrestle him this Saturday, and I was
Mm-hmm.
super stoked for that. But unfortunately, he had to cancel. I don't know why or anything like that. But um, I have a new opponent. His name is Aaron West. He's actually somebody around the Southern West Virginia scene. Um, that I share locker rooms with all the time. He's a great dude, a great athlete, a great competitor. I've never wrestled him one on one before, but he's a great guy, great wrestler. Everything. It's first time one on one, so
Ooh.
I'm super stoked for that. Absolutely.
We were just discussing that just a couple hours ago about how intriguing
Mhm.
this match is. We were all stoked for you against Argos, but things happened.
Oh,
Mhm.
But
oh.
we went into
Yeah.
this match, and I think we all got each other more hyped because you've got the power and the
Mhm.
prestige and the technique of Aaron West against your speed, your agility, everything you
Mhm.
bring to the table. This is going to be a good one. You've got your work cut out for you, but I
Mhm.
think most of the votes and on the prediction was for old Huff Manley here. Yeah, it was.
Oh man.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes me feel good. I know Aaron West. He's a powerhouse. He's a big dude.
Mhm.
He's also somebody that works incredibly hard on his body, his diet, his
Mhm.
wrestling, and I do the exact same. Um, I know that it's going to be hard hitting. I know that I'm going to have to think of like different strategies and everything to try and get around like his power moves and stuff like that. But all I know is I'm going to come into RSW and I'm going to try to have match of the year. I know it's the last show of the year for RSW, but
Mm-hmm.
I want to set the tone for the next year.
Hell
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, man.
And there's
It's a
no
good way
doubt
to
in my
look at it.
mind on a very stacked card, it's possible.
Mhm.
You've got
Mm-hmm.
your work cut out for you because there's some crazy matches. But
Mm-hmm.
as we went into on that podcast, we said it could steal the night. So
Yep.
we're looking forward to this one. This is a crazy one. Any strategy or anything you'd like to share with us?
Um, it's like you said, to me, for my wrestling ability, I like to use my body to my advantage, right? I like to whether it's to like put my own body on the line or if I have to like outspeed somebody. But it's not about always about outspeeding. You also have to have it up here too.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I know a lot of Aaron West's moveset. I know he knows a lot of mine. So that's why this match coming up this Saturday at Real Shoot is it's gonna be one for the ages. I can promise you
Mhm.
that. It's gonna be a really good one.
Oh yeah, Lawrence.
Well, Spook,
Yeah.
well, I can say Spooky knows how I feel, man. Like ever since I first watched Jackson and watched you wrestle, like to me, it's like give me more Jackson Argos, give me more Huff Manley. You know what I mean? Like and damn it, Jackson Argos. I hope you got a real good reason for breaking a fan's heart. I mean, I hope like all's well with his family and shit, and it's nothing serious. But hopefully, we'll get to see that dude soon. But more on you, sir. Highly entertaining. Love to watch you go. You're agile and speedy as shit. And yeah, like go back and listen to that podcast. We're all like, I think Huff's gonna pull this one out, man. So I'm just happy to watch you wrestle again, whoever you wrestle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm super stoked. I can't say it enough. I like coming up. I like going up north and going to RSW a lot. I have a lot of friends that wrestle up there that I don't really get to see a lot. So I'm super excited. I'm really excited.
And I'm just as curious about what you're doing in the southern part of the state. If you could just tell us, how's the year been for you in other promotions around West Virginia?
Oh man, it's southern West Virginia, or even like West Virginia in general.
Mm-hmm.
West Virginia wrestling I feel like we're at a boom period.
Yep.
I feel like a lot of places, especially in the southern West Virginia part, a lot more fans are coming out. And we didn't really think that was going to happen because of like the pandemic and whatnot, places shutting down, and you know how West Virginia is in general with like poverty and like just West Virginia is like a low income place. So it's for years it's always been really hard to try and get those fans, because they may not have the money, or wrestling, sometimes you always want to try and get the casual fans to come out, right? Because the hardcore fans will always come out and watch wrestling. But as far as we're in a boom period, I feel like for the whole state of West Virginia. I'm in southern West Virginia. I wrestle for places like All Star Wrestling that usually takes place in Madison, West Virginia, and Boone County, actually, where I went to high school. I'm a champion over there. I wrestle for quite a few different companies around here. Battleground Wrestling, BGW. I actually wrestled QT Marshall there and got invited to Dark about a year ago.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've wrestled Matt Cross a few months ago for ASW in front of over 1,000 fans in Beckley.
Wow.
That was really fun. I'm actually getting ready to do like a mass upload on YouTube of all like my matches over the past few years, because I'm finally getting footage sent to me. So I'll send you guys the link as soon as they're open. But Huffmanly is my YouTube. You can find it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We'll make sure to put the link in the description.
Oh,
Yes,
absolutely.
Sir.
Absolutely. Huffmanly is literally like all my social medias. So it's super, super simple and super easy, thankfully. But yeah, I've wrestled like Matt Cross, QT Marshall, Ace Austin.
Oh, wow.
Just within like the past year and a half, or like year and a few months. So it's been a pretty eventful year. I've had some really good like hardcore matches, ladder matches, like even like time limit draws. No Iron Man, unfortunately. I've always wanted to do like a 30-60 man Iron Man match.
Okay.
That's something I've always wanted to do. So if anybody, any promoters or anything out there, I'm wanting to, for my wrestling, I like to test myself. I want to see how far I can go. And I want to just see where I am, because I always try and make myself better, and I always try and whoever I'm wrestling, them better too. So that's my goal with wrestling.
Oh yeah, it sounds like you've wrestled a who's who, man.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't really happen until like this past year and a half or so. I mean, I've wrestled guys like George South. George South is somebody that's like a mentor to me.
Oh yeah.
Someone I talk to daily, every other day. It seems like, and he's always giving me advice. George South is one of my favorite people. He's one of probably like a lot of people like don't consider him a name,
Nah.
but to me, he's like the biggest name, like in my heart. I love George so much. He's like the ultimate bad guy, but he's he's so cool.
He's been around for a minute, and that's a good dude to have as a
Hmm.
mentor right there. He definitely
Hmm.
knows what he's doing. Shoot, he's even been doing death matches lately, the crazy guy. So, hell yeah.
I know that dude. As soon as I saw that promo with him, with Nick Gage, I was like, oh my God, I do not want to see my mentor die in the ring.
Ooh.
Like, I really don't. I don't want to see that. Unfortunately, I couldn't go to WrestleCade this year. I had some family issues going on that I couldn't go to WrestleCade to watch or even like go out and hang out with everybody. But I heard it was great, and it's George South, so I knew it was a good match.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Oh
And
yeah.
who's been some other influences as far as training and along the way?
Um, a lot of influence. See, I was trained by people. I was trained by two people. But I've had a lot of like mentors and like people show me new things and everything like that. But my two main trainers were the names of Rocky Rage and Shane Storm.
Okay.
Those two people were the guys that really defined who I am and like gave me the proper training that I needed and like professionalism and everything like that, because I feel like in wrestling you should always hold yourself accountable and have professionalism as like in and outside of the ring. Another person that has done so much for me is Jason the Gift Kincaid.
Nice.
He's somebody that's another mentor of mine that I can't thank enough, because he has made me such a better wrestler and like a better person in wrestling as well.
Hmm.
Him and I sort of have the same, personality. He's someone that, I highly respect and love in wrestling. He's somebody that I would, that he's somebody that never has a bad match, like ever. You can't find a bad match of his.
Yep.
I don't care if it's like if he was, green as grass a few years in,
I hear his name mentioned a lot on the podcast. I've seen a couple of his matches. Seems like a lot of people are influenced by Jason the Gift Kincaid, and also just seems like a really good dude.
Oh yeah.
yes, he's one of the most humble guys I've ever came across. Jason Kincaid is also one of the best wrestlers I've ever seen in my life, and I'm not just saying that because he's a friend of mine.
Yep.
Um, he was someone that I was really nervous meeting for the first time whenever we were wrestling for the first time. And it was actually during the pandemic. You can find the match on YouTube. It was for Appalachian Championship Wrestling.
Okay.
We both wore face masks in our
Mm.
match
Oh wow.
because of COVID, but we also wanted to show that we could wrestle with masks on, just to see if we could do it. Um, that's a really good match of mine. That's actually our first match. I'm also like 40 pounds lighter in
Yeah.
that match too. Um, but yeah, those guys definitely are people that I would say shaped my wrestling style in and outside the ring.
Huh.
Oh yeah.
How did it all come together, Huffmanly and this persona you've coming up with, the yeet, the hand in front of your
Hmm.
mouth? How'd this all come together?
So my chemistry teacher in high school, I was in 11th grade. I had a chemistry teacher that he looked like Trevor from Grand Theft Auto 5, and
Okay.
and he was like this. Mr. Matthews was his name, and he used to come into class like he just looked like a crazy dude, and he had this like really weird accent, and he came in and like he was doing roll call, and my last name is Huffman, right? And he started doing roll call, and then he just randomly started going Huffmanly,
Mm.
like I was some sort of like big 6'4", 300-pound muscly dude when I'm really 5'10", 185. But in high school I was like 120 pounds. But he's just started calling me Huff Manly, and that was like 10 years ago or so. So I just like all my friends started calling me Huff Manly in high school.
Huh.
So whenever I was doing training and whatnot, I was trying to think of like a wrestling name. I sort of wanted to just go by, like like Casey Huffman or like KC Huffman or something like
Mhm.
that. But I was like, well, what if I try out this superhero thing? Like I'm the ultimate good guy and I'm
Mhm.
Huffmanly. And so I did that. I didn't really have like a catchphrase or gimmick yet. Whenever I was like a few months in wrestling, once I first started having matches, um, so the yeet thing happened because it was like at the time, like it was people were just started saying it like on social media online. It became like a meme
Mm.
at the time. So um, I was talking to my friend in the locker room, and I was like, "You dare me to go out there and just yell yeet over and over again?" And he was like, he said the ultimate thing. He said, "You won't do it." So of course I had to do it.
Mm.
So I go out there and I'm doing it right, and I'm sitting here and I'm going like yeet, yeet, yeet. Nobody's saying a word. Everyone's like, "What the
Mhm.
hell is this dude?" And like, "Who is this dude?"
Mhm.
This time I didn't really have like gear or anything, right? So I was like wearing. I didn't know who Huffmanly was at the time,
Mm.
Mm.
so I ended up like yelling yeet 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 and stuff. No one was saying anything. I got my ass kicked in the match. Somebody came out and attacked me. Got my ass kicked some more. I go back in the back. People were laughing because I'm doing the yeet thing. I come back next month at that show, and as soon as I make my entrance, people were saying it.
Mm.
So I was like, well, I guess I'm stuck with it now. So that's how that came about. The hand over the mouth gimmick, I didn't. So it was my very first time taking promo pictures, and I'm like Ricky Bobby. I didn't know what to do with my hands. I didn't know how to pose. I didn't want to do the
Yeah.
thing like straight baby faces. I didn't know what to do with my mouth or my teeth. I didn't want to smile, so I was like, let me do like a superhero pose like that.
Mhm.
So I started doing that, and then in promo pictures, I started writing Yeet on my hands. So now it's like, Huff Manley's the name, Yeet's the catchphrase. This is the superhero pose. So that's pretty much like how I imagine is how that, the Huff Manley thing is, and that's how that all came about.
That's interesting. That's one thing I like about this podcast is how you guys just the formula and it's
Mhm.
obviously working. It caught on like wildfire. You have a strong social media following. You drop these videos, everybody loves it. What's that been like for you?
So I started doing the Yeet thing like 2, 3 months into wrestling. So usually for people starting out, you're always like, trying to build up who you are and like everybody wants to be like over in wrestling. Like if you're, I don't care if you're like a good guy or a bad guy,
Mhm.
you want to be seen by people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's how you get bookings and whatnot. And for me, it caught on way too quick because I didn't know what to do at that point because I wasn't as experienced yet.
Okay.
So, like, usually for people, they start like
Mhm.
gravitating towards who they are about like let's say like 6 months to a year in, and they start like trying to figure out everything. For me, it happened way too quick, and I started getting really popular really quickly to where um, I started to not want to go out in public around like my town to where I lived um,
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that because it's like it was weird. It was weird towards me, weird to me. Like plug my phone in real quick.
Good.
There we go. And for me, it's like I'm pretty open about this. I have a social disorder, so it's like um, wrestling is like how I'm able to communicate better. Because going out in public and doing things, it's hard for me to communicate with new people. So wrestling's a good place for me for that. But for wrestling and everything, it's just I got way too popular way too quick. But honestly, it's where I've been wrestling. I just hit my 5 year anniversary, so now I'm pretty good socially with wrestling, and even in like my personal life and everything like that. And wrestling helped me with that. So I think
Hell
that's
yeah.
honestly a really cool thing.
Congrats. Congrats.
Yeah.
And
Hell
And I was nodding along with you because I was agreeing. I noticed Lawrence nodding along. We both have had a very similar experience when it comes to
Mhm.
wrestling.
Hmm.
Neither one of us got out of the house too much. I'm self conscious about things. He
Hmm.
had, anxiety deal. Uh,
Yep.
Social anxiety. Yeah.
Yep.
yep.
That's
But pro
yep.
wrestling,
So
we come
yeah,
out to a
feel like
show.
you're a kindred spirit for both of us, man. For real. That actually makes me appreciate you that much more
Yeah.
because you're like a kindred spirit. Like I feel that pain. I feel that.
Yep.
Trust me.
And
Yeah.
the magic of pro wrestling.
In
Yeah.
fact,
It's like,
I'm going to leave right now, guys, because I got to take my anxiety pill.
Okay,
hey,
we'll be here.
go
I'll be
right
right
ahead.
back.
I understand that. But whenever, thankfully, like wrestling is my life now. Like, that's how I make my money and everything like that. And whenever I was working like a normal job,
Mhm.
um, and like my friends would come watch me wrestle, they would be like, "Bro, you're completely different. There's Huff Manley and then there's Casey Huffman. They're two different people." And I was like, "What, really?" Then they're like, "Yeah, it's like in real life you're like quiet and to yourself and." Like even at wrestling shows, you can tell I'm sort of like that, but I try and be more open at shows and everything. It's like I remember talking to you guys outside of the ring whenever I was calling him Phineas. I think I was calling Phineas.
Mhm.
You gave me the idea, I believe. Um, what what did I call him?
Oh, Chad Kroger.
Chad Kroger.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought I would see that made me laugh right there. Um, yeah, that was a good time. Whenever you guys were saying that, it's like I always try and be open towards people. I always try and I try and be hopeful towards people. I always try and be nice to everybody because that's how I want to be treated. I always try and treat people with respect because everybody deserves respect in my eyes. Because it's like I don't ever want to feel disrespected. So like and wrestling is where I get my fix for everything, I feel like.
Oh yeah, I appreciate that more than you know because that's a message that we preach every
Hmm.
episode is to be kind to your fellow man. At the same time,
Hmm.
believe in yourself. At the same time, don't take no shit. It's just the way it should be, and
Yep.
there should be more of that. And that is one thing I like about the pro wrestling scene, whether it be fans or the locker room. 99.9% of the time, everybody's cool and like-minded
Hmm.
and treats each other with respect. Lawrence, you missed a great point here. He was talking about
Okay.
when he was in the four-way with Phineas, and you had mentioned
Mm.
Chad Kroger, and that
Yeah.
that helped him out in
Chad
the
Kroger.
match.
Yeah.
That actually
Yeah.
helped him out. So you're
Hmm.
back. You got any questions for Huff Manley?
Um, Not a question, but I do want to just take a moment and just kind of touch on what we talked about with the social anxiety, because I want to just say, like, it's because of Spooky and reaching back out to him. This is a guy we've known each other for like 20 years and hadn't spoken forever, I don't know, a decade or more.
Hmm.
And because of the talent available at RSW, man, I just want to thank you personally from my heart, man. Like, I don't think you understand how much it means to me for someone that's been so guarded. And so the whole thing with me is that I have comfort zones that I go to, right? I go to work. I can walk up the road. I can do that kind of shit. But when I feel like I'm out of place and I just don't feel right because I'm in a hostile or what I would deem a hostile environment, or my brain believes that, it's very difficult for me to get out and do shit like that. And I told Spooky when I walked to that first RSW show at Fairmont State, which is like literally a 10-minute walk or about 15-minute walk from my apartment, I started having an anxiety attack. And I was just like, you know what? Fuck this. Like, this is so stupid. Like, you're going to see Derek. You haven't seen him in forever. And, like, you're going to go watch this show that he's been pumping up, and you're going to have a good time. And I did. I had a great time. And it's because of Derek, or, well, Spooky Lou, a.k.a. Derek, same. And because of you and the talent that I've been able to witness firsthand at RSW, man, that, again, just from the bottom of my heart, man, thank you. I really
No,
appreciate it. Like, you've brought someone out of their comfort zone, and I've found something new in my life that I really enjoy. So again, thank you.
well, I want to say thank you for sharing that, by the way, because I know like
For sure.
sharing things like that isn't easy.
Yeah.
And things like that. I can't tell you how many times that I wanted to quit wrestling because of my social anxiety and
Yeah.
my depression and everything like that. Because it's like what I mentioned earlier. The where I started getting like popular way too quick, and it started to get
Yeah.
to my head. So it's like
Okay.
I feel like if I started to dip, then nobody would care about me anymore. It's sort of like being a one-hit wonder.
Right.
I started feeling like that and everything like that. But I can't tell you how many times I want to give up, especially in wrestling. Not because I hate wrestling or anything like that.
Mhm.
It's just sometimes it's all up here.
I got you.
Yeah, it's like wrestling to me should be fun, and that's
Mhm.
how I try and make it. Because I don't care if there's 4 people or 400 people.
Right.
I'm gonna make them feel like they're in a comfortable and in a fun place to be, because that's how I want my wrestling to be, is fun. So
Absolutely.
I just want to thank you guys again also
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
also for sharing that.
For sure, man.
And
Thanks again, Spooky, for real, from the bottom of my heart to you as well, man. Thank you.
you're welcome. And you've come to every show within, your means since.
Every
And,
show since. Yep.
and me, I've been in my house with my family. I told myself, that's all I need. All I need's my girls and my wife. I don't need anything else. And then I got an
Mm-hmm.
opportunity. And just to share a quick story, and then we'll get back to Huffmanly and what Huffmanly's about. But just to share, last month I went to VCW to their pay per view, and I'm in the
Mm-hmm.
back, and I'm like, man, I'm brand new to wrestling and everything, not to wrestling, but being backstage and being part of wrestling. And I'm back
Right.
there, and I'm like, man, I don't belong here. What do these guys think of me? And I start getting in my own head, and I
Mm.
remembered a promise I made to myself. This is an opportunity. Make the most of it and have fun. Have
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
fun no matter what. This opportunity may go away tomorrow. Have fun. So we're all
Mm-hmm.
watching the monitor, and I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to act like I do at the house when I'm by myself watching wrestling. And I
Yep.
started clapping, and I started popping. And you know what happened? All those boys around me, all the wrestlers and everybody else, they started clapping. They started
Yep.
popping. And boom, I
Mm-hmm.
was in my element. And that's just another thing, and I'm sure it happens in music or whatever other hobbies may be, but that's what's all brought us together and made us happy, is pro wrestling. So
Mm-hmm.
that was my anxiety moment. I was flipping out. I felt like I didn't belong, and I said, "Fuck it, let's have fun." And I had fun, and here we are. Here we are. We're off to the races.
Yep. I think we
Yeah.
can all agree that we all deserve the world. Like,
Yep.
we're worth it. That's the whole thing. You have to remind
Absolutely.
yourself that you're worth it. You know what I mean? You are worth it, and just keep driving forward, man.
Yes. Thankfully, my girlfriend reminds me every day, and I'm super thankful for her.
Hell yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
it's that's something that she knows. She knows I struggle with things like that. So she reminds me daily, and she doesn't let me forget. She tries to never let me forget who I am or what I try and do.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
Good.
it's and also I'm going to be looking for you guys too on Saturday, because we're going to have a good time, because it's like I feed off of the crowd. So if you
Oh
guys
yeah.
are going crazy and stuff like that, it's like it gives me like an adrenaline rush. I wish
Oh
I could
yeah.
explain it. It's like a drug.
Yeah.
It's
And
like
yeah,
a
by
lifter.
no means do we want to like turn this around like he wanted to get back to you getting to Huff Manley, that you're the reason that we're here. But I just wanted to illustrate that point, that it is because of you. It's because of Derek. It's because of you, RSW, that I'm a fan. I became an instant fan, and I go to every show I can possibly go. So again, thank you, man. Let's get back to you.
Yeah. We're
Whatever
Were,
you
were,
guys say.
were you guys at? Did you say your first show was at RSW in Fairmont?
Mhm.
Fairmont State.
I
Yep.
came out first, didn't I?
I think so.
In the
I
Yeah.
was in the first
in
match.
the four way. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, because we wrestled first.
Mhm.
Oh
Yep.
gosh, so I was your first wrestler you saw. I'm sorry. I'm
No, don't
joking.
be sorry,
I'm
bro.
joking.
Don't be sorry. Hey,
I'm joking.
we call those the fire fatal four ways, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, them.
Absolutely. I'm proud of that one too.
Yeah, that's an awesome match. It's on my
Yep.
YouTube, and I'll be editing the professional footage that RSW shot and get that out very quickly.
Oh
So,
heck yeah.
yeah, that'll be a good one. What made you fall in love with pro wrestling? How far does this love go back?
Oh man. So I don't. So my dad's pretty popular amongst the boys in the locker room. They call him Huff Hogan. Um, they call him Huff Hogan. He's 5'6", real short, stocky dude. Has a mullet, everything like that. Um, so he's been a fan of wrestling all of his life. Like he grew up in the 70s, 80s. Obviously I'm 27. I was born in the 90s. Um, the I was born into it, but what my very first match that I think I saw in my head was Stone Cold and Bret Hart in the I Quit match.
Okay.
Um, so that's what I have in my head because I remember my dad like doing something to where we got like I don't know how we did it, but I'm not going to question it. But we got like free pay-per-views with some sort of antenna that was on our trailer
I had my
at the time as a kid. So I got to watch a lot of like classics in the mid to late 90s whenever I first got into wrestling because I was obviously a really young age. As far as like my favorite wrestler goes, or somebody I try and learn a lot from. My number one favorite, I think he's the greatest of all time, is Shawn Michaels.
Hell yeah.
Good choice.
I think he's in terms of, athletic ability, wrestling, interacting with the crowd, whether he's, good or bad or anything like that. I feel like he's the greatest. He's somebody like that I try and learn a lot from. If you notice the way I walk and everything, you'll pay attention on Saturday whenever I make my entrance.
Okay.
Yeah,
I try and make my entrance theatrical and everything like that. Also try and get the crowd involved. Because Shawn Michaels did the same thing. A lot of like wrestlers on TV, and especially in like WWE, they're produced to be more theatrical for their entrances.
Right.
It's like a show. So I try and do that. That way I can sort of get into, that state of wrestling. To try and like learn different things and like theatrics and knowing how to do this at this time and like pandering to the camera and whatnot. So Shawn Michaels was obviously a big influence. Jeff Hardy, of course, I finished as a swanton that I've told is beautiful. But I try not to put myself over too much because I get awkward saying things like that about myself. Jeff Hardy, Shawn Michaels. I grew up loving Stone Cold Steve Austin, but of course my gimmick isn't, really good for him to mimic off of him. A lot of people. Chris Hero is one of my favorite indie guys.
You look like Chris Hero.
Funny enough, I won't mention names, but there was somebody I shared a locker room with where they thought I was Chris Hero, and I was like, "Bro, there's no way I'm like a foot shorter than that dude." Plus, he's like that dude is insane. Like one of the best wrestlers. I feel like that never got his like flowers.
Yep.
I feel like Chris Hero is great. I actually wore a Chris Hero shirt yesterday. I wore a Chris Hero shirt whenever I met Matt Cross because I know he's from that area as well.
Okay. Hell yeah. Matt Cross, another awesome name. That's awesome. You got to work him. How did that go? Let's go into a few of those matches. Matt Cross, Ace Austin. How was the nerves going into those matches?
Oh man. See, I was really nervous for that Matt Cross match. Not because I was not only wrestling Matt Cross, but I had to be in front of over 1,000 people, and it had to be co-main event. So it's like I had all three of those stresses on me, and but not only that, but I had new gear that was supposed to be there already that I couldn't wear because it didn't come in at the time, and I was like super upset because it got lost in transit and in another state that I was supposed to get it like 2 days before the show, so because I was going to debut new gear. But Matt Cross is somebody that I learned a lot from in wrestling because even though I've been wrestling for 5 years, I'm also still learning. So every match that I have is a learning experience. But Matt Cross is a phenomenal athlete. He's a phenomenal wrestler. He's another person that I feel like deserves his flowers. Because I feel like he's one of the indie wrestling goats. Matt Cross is really, really good. Ace Austin, also another guy that is just leaps and bounds ahead of his time. Like in terms of like how long he's been wrestling. So I know Matt Cross has been wrestling for over 20 years. Ace Austin, I wrestled him in a fatal 4-way actually with Dustin Alexander. Dustin Alexander was in the match. It was for my X Division title for All Star Wrestling. That match was really good. I have the match. I think it's unlisted.
Okay.
So, but I can send it over your way. That match is really good. Yeah. Yeah. Ricky Morton, I've wrestled him a million times. He's another mentor of mine. Ricky Morton also like loves my girlfriend a lot. Like they're really good friends as well. George South, of course, I've mentioned him. I'm trying to think. I feel like there's someone else. I've got my whole resume and list of people on my phone. But I feel like yeah, QT. Gosh, QT. I cried whenever I wrestled him because like we wrestled a singles, we got attacked, it turned into a tag. With me and QT versus 2 other guys. After the match, he gets on a mic, blah blah blah. He invites me to AEW Dark. I start bawling. The crowd goes crazy. Babies are flying everywhere. It's insane. Everybody's having a good time.
Wow.
So I cried that day or that night because it just didn't seem real because I'm a guy from Southern West Virginia. I'm not even supposed to be here.
I get it.
And stuff like that. So yeah, wrestling is badass and wrestling's cool.
I totally get it. Last month when all this was happening for me, when I got invited to RSW and got some roles and got this and that, I cried like daily. I just couldn't believe everything that was happening. So I definitely understand it. I'm 39 years old, and to cry like every day about something new, and it was just getting to the point where it's like, geez, whiz. But I'm finally coming to grips with it, I think. As far as AEW Dark, have you made it there yet, or?
I had an AEW appearance in October. I was one of Dalton Castle's boys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I've got a video and pictures of it. But I was one of those. I didn't get a match, unfortunately. But I did. They did say they're going to keep me in mind, everything like that. So that's a cool feeling.
I'm sure that was an experience. What was the experience like, just going there and being there?
Brother, I thought I was gonna like anxiety attacks suck. But the anxiety attacks whenever you have really bad stomach pain that feels like ulcers sucks. Okay. Because that day on the way, because it was like 4 hours away from here, is where they were taping. It was quite the 4-hour trip going there because I didn't know whether I was going to throw up. I didn't know if I was hungry. I didn't know anything. But once I got there, nerves went away because I knew it was time to be. It was business mode. Okay. From there. A lot of cool people were there. There was people I knew that was there as well that got invited. So it's like I didn't feel alone because that's like I'm always scared of feeling and being alone, especially in wrestling. So thankfully there was people there that I knew that, I had someone to talk to the whole time while I was doing everything.
How was the AEW crew as far as their guys? Were they welcoming or just kind of doing their own thing? Or?
Yeah, they were pretty welcoming. Everybody there was really nice. You could tell there was people that were, that just preferred to do their own thing or be to themselves, which is okay because at wrestling shows, whenever I put my gear on, it's like I talk to everybody and everything like that, but I'm also just socially not there. I'm just socially weird, to where it's like I change and then I just stretch and I just, I just try and relax. So, and you could tell those people like that there. So, like, it made me feel better because it's like I knew that that's sort of how I am.
Mhm.
But those are also people that was super welcoming. That was really nice. There's a lot of good people in wrestling, especially in the locker room.
I'll tell you what, your ass was about to meet me in person officially because I thought I might need someone a little bit stronger than me. Maybe I need Huff Manley to open that fucking Hawaiian punch I just opened. My God, I strained myself to open that son of a bitch. Like, Huff
Yeah.
Manley, get your ass in your car and come to my apartment, open this fucking Hawaiian punch. I'm thirsty.
What kind of Hawaiian punch? Was it just like a
Just
red
regular, just a
regular?
regular, like ginormous, the biggest one they make.
Yeah.
Damn, I'd have
I
ripped
make my
skin
own.
off my hand opening that fucking thing.
I make my own lemonade Kool-Aid blend.
Oh, okay.
I use powdered lemonade, and then I use like little Kool-Aid packets as well. I
Yeah.
like to do the whole, like, it's like going to McDonald's and
Mhm.
getting everything from a fountain drink. I sort of like mixing my own, so I drink
All
a
right.
lot of that.
All right.
Okay, I like it.
I consider myself a juice connoisseur.
Okay. What's the best juice?
Ocean
man.
spray, baby. Ocean spray all the way.
Ocean spray is good. If you're going with just like plain fruit juice, I feel like apple juice would be S tier.
Ooh.
I do love me some apple juice, and I can prove it right here.
Mm.
I swear those are the only two drinks in my room. I don't have anything else. But apple juice is really good. I love some fruit punch, just classic fruit punch. Anything like blue Kool-Aid, anything blue, I feel like is really good as well.
Okay.
The only thing I don't really like, which I'm trying to be better about, I'm trying not to drink a lot of red stuff because of staining my teeth and everything like that. Because it's like that's all I did, and I'm trying to take care of my body more because I'm trying to, just trying. I'm trying, even though I'm eating a lot of carbs, I'm trying to be healthier.
What about
Everything.
water? Do you mess with like spring water or purified water?
I do now, thankfully. I do
Okay.
now. I was never a water drinker until like a year ago. But even then, it's like I used to not make fun of people for drinking water. I was just like, man, you really like just nothing, like the flavor of nothing. Like, like I didn't understand water. I was like, man, like, yeah, you
Yeah.
drink your water. I'd rather taste something. But now it's weird. I never thought I'd see the day to where I would look at my girlfriend and be like, you know what, you're right. Water is good.
It is, and honestly, as a podcast, first podcast exclusive, I'm going to tell you, as someone that is quite a juice and water connoisseur, sir, I will tell you that when people are like, "Oh, all water tastes the same," she's like, "No, it does not." Deer Park is the nastiest shit you can ever possibly drink. Aquafina is not bad. I think it's made by Coca-Cola, and personally, my personal favorite is Fiji. Fiji
really
and then
good.
Evian are the top tier for water, I think.
Okay.
I like Smart Water as well. Whenever I'm on like wrestling, whenever I'm driving home from shows and stuff, I'll stop at Sheetz because I feel like Sheetz should sponsor wrestlers because that's where most wrestlers go anyway. Because it's like it's the only place that's open that has gas and food.
Yep.
So every time I go to Sheetz, I always get the water with like the tip on it to where you can just
yeah. Gotcha.
The lid, whatever. I can't remember what it's called, but like I can't remember what brand. But I drink a lot of that too, just because it's like where I'm driving, so it doesn't spill.
Yeah, makes sense.
A lot of that.
Yeah, I think Fiji probably is fucking lying to us though, because they're like, "Oh, it comes from the mountain streams." That shit probably comes out of a fucking sewage plant in New Jersey. But it tastes. I'm telling you, it tastes fucking different. There's just something about it, man. It just tastes really good.
And
I know.
You heard it here first, folks. On a podcast exclusive, Huffmanly loves the juice.
Loves the juice.
Yes.
He's not on the juice, but he's drinking the juice.
Don't take it out of context. Jeez Louise. Lawrence.
That's what you can title it, the juice connoisseur.
There you go. Huffmanly is on the juice.
I love it.
Yes.
That's a great title.
No doubt. What kind of questions, wrestling related, do you have for Huffmanly, Lawrence?
Yes, I'm ready for anything.
Fire
Have you ever been part of a tag team?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I actually just lost my BGW tag title.
Okay.
So Shane Storm, my trainer. Actually,
Okay.
I've been a tag team with both of my trainers, and I've won titles with both of my trainers. So
Oh yeah.
my first, let's see, I've won 3 tag titles, I believe, in my career. One was with DD Trash.
Okay.
We were like a 3-man, but we were doing the whole. My mind is blanking. It's whenever
Freebirds.
there's 3 people. Freebirds.
Yep.
Yes.
Freebird.
I don't know why. The juice is getting to me, brother. But yeah, we did a Freebird thing. DD Trash and I did. Ron Mathis and Bruce Gray's phenomenal people, by the way.
Okay.
But Shane Storm and I, we were called the Fairly Odd Tag Team because we became a tag team on accident because we were feuding, and then the promoter was like, "All right, I'm sick of it. You two get along. I'm gonna put you in a title match against our champions and stuff like that." He super kicked me. I landed on the guy. 1, 2, 3. We're accidentally champions. So now we have to be a tag team.
Right.
At that point, we ended up getting along. We thought of a name. We have some cool promos and stuff I can send you guys and everything.
Sure.
Oh, please do.
Yeah, it's Shane Storm and I. And then right before the pandemic, during the pandemic, I was in a tag team with my trainer, Rocky. We were called Rocky Rage is his name. So we were called Yeats of Rage.
Nice.
And we had Streets of Rage style T-shirts.
Oh,
nice.
So yeah, that one was pretty fun too.
Probably my favorite game franchise since we're talking video games. Yes, the new one is phenomenal.
Oh yeah, Street Sport is fucking amazing. Such a good game.
Yeah, I've got the collectors of it actually, where it came with like a keychain gimmick.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep, I've got it up there. I love that game.
Oh yeah, me and my kids play it all the time. And I even got the new Ninja Turtles, but we still go back to Streets of Rage because it's so good.
Heck yeah.
Play the survival.
Yeah,
mode
you and I will be talking more often, Huff. We're gonna be talking more often since you got this love for video games. Man after my own heart, I love it.
Oh yeah.
Heck yeah. My pro wrestling tees. I'm not trying to plug my own stuff, but
no, dude.
No, please do.
My prowrestlingtees.com/Huffmanly. All my t-shirts there are sort of like video game themed. I also have a Power Rangers one as well. That's Mighty Yeeting Huffmanly.
Okay.
That I have, and then also it's like the shirts that I bring to shows and whatnot is like me doing that gimmick on like an NES card.
Oh, okay.
Oh, dude,
it's the one that I wear to the ring and everything.
Remember at the Fairmont State show, you yelled at him in the ring, "I like the shirt," and I remember him being in the ring, be like, "Hey, I'll be at the merch table right afterwards."
Yeah, that's right.
Did I say
that was me.
Yeah, you was like, "I got him over there, right in the ring." And I was like, "Hell yeah, man!" Hustle
And while he brings that up, let me point out that I have bought a few shirts, and I told Spooky, like, I will eventually own a shirt from every one of you guys. I want to do my part to support you guys. I love the product. I love what you guys bring to the table. So, and you're talking about it's like video game themed, bet your ass I'll buy it. But I do have a question. The one problem that I have is I don't see any of you guys have sweatshirts. It's fucking cold in West Virginia, bro. Don't you got sweatshirts?
I'm wearing a jacket right now.
I feel it.
Let's see.
I mean, but do you have like sweatshirts on your site that I could get a sweatshirt instead of a t-shirt? Okay.
Yeah, you can get. I thought you meant I'm wearing one. I was like, I think, but on Pro Wrestling Tees you can get like long sleeve shirts, tops, even mugs. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Yes, because my girlfriend collects mugs, but they also make like hoodies and sweatshirts and stuff too.
Okay. That's what I'm looking for, because the next shirt that I was going to buy was Zeke, but I didn't see where he had any sweatshirts. I think all his shit's just t-shirts.
Nah, check Pro Wrestling Tees. They got a variety.
Okay.
Yeah, you can do. It's like customizable. the order
Okay.
thing, because I think
Gotcha.
it's just like the design, but you can select it to where it's like by size and then like by like what style
Yeah.
of
Cool.
thing.
Yeah, because I buy from there often. And I do want to clarify that night, Lawrence did want to buy a shirt from you, but he only had so much money and he was
Mm.
already committed to Saturday Night Special, I believe.
Oh, I
Yes.
understand that.
He was
I
already,
understand that
yeah.
completely.
They
But
were on the
sir,
podcast before you. So
I will tell you, your day is coming, but I'm really waiting for you to put out the shirt that says, I'm on the juice.
Okay,
That's the one.
listen, I will
Make
make a
I'm on
shirt
the
just
juice
for
and
that.
I'm in, bro. I'm in, brother. That's what I want.
It'll be a picture of me like drinking juice, and it'll say I'm on the juice.
I love it.
to clarify,
I love
there
it.
we go.
Yeah,
I love it.
just to clarify that. I mean, you can just look at me and tell that I'm not on the actual juice, but I'll definitely listen. Listen, I will do that because
Hell yeah.
I pop for stuff like that. So
There you go.
I'll do anything to make people laugh.
Well, there
There
you
you
go.
go.
I love it.
Hell, we're creating merch on the fucking WrestleRoni
Oh,
podcast tonight, y'all.
something new every
Yeah,
time.
we're getting the juice over, boys.
So, this journey you've had 5 years, you've won titles, you've wrestled big names. Are you proud of yourself?
I am. I also there's like times to where I struggle, like comparing myself to others and stuff like that. Which I don't care what profession or like what type of person you are, you shouldn't do that.
Mm,
But of course, telling
Yeah.
yourself you shouldn't do that doesn't stop it.
yeah.
But just I am super super proud of myself, and I'm glad that you asked me that because it put into perspective everything I've done since talking to you guys. Because it's like I don't really like I don't talk about myself a lot. I'll only talk about myself like on these podcasts, like because like my family tries to talk wrestling with me and stuff, and like so I try not to sound like it's like a big deal. Like
Mm-hmm.
I love wrestling. Wrestling doesn't owe me anything. I owe wrestling. Is how I was taught. Like wrestling doesn't owe us anything. Like we do it for wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, I'm very. I've done a lot of things in the short amount of time that I've been wrestling. I always try and think that I should be doing more stuff and doing better, but you can't think like that. I don't care who you are. You shouldn't think like that because everybody has different paths. Because you'll see people, it'll take them 15 years to get a contract, and then you'll see someone that it takes them 6 months. So I was always told to enjoy it because you may never know when you are gonna not be able to wrestle any longer, because something could happen to where I wouldn't be able to wrestle anymore. But if I was to stop wrestling right now, I would be really happy for what I did and the amount of time that I was there.
Oh yeah, man. Should be proud of your accomplishments.
For sure. And you don't have to be on TV or in a big company to touch lives, to inspire people, to make people happy, to make people want to come out to more shows to see you wrestle again and conquer their own anxieties. So you should be proud of yourself. You're touching lives, you're inspiring others.
Absolutely. And I want to kind of piggyback off the point you make too, that like it really resonates with me. What you're saying is basically like it's okay to emulate someone and their success, but man, don't try to compare, because I can completely understand that from where I'm coming from my own perspective. That it's difficult when you go to compare because you just got to be you, man. You got to be yourself. Emulate other people's success and try to pinpoint things that will help you get further along, but you can't compare, because if you compare, you're never going to get nowhere. You got to be your own. It got to be your own individual, man.
Yep, you gotta create your own path instead of trying to follow somebody else's.
How important is that? Because obviously you're a very unique character in the game. Your promos are super unique. How important has that been to have your own identity, to have your own individuality?
See, because I feel like in pro wrestling, everybody has the same promos. You have the on date in town at this time, name, I'm gonna blah 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 blah, do this and this and this. I might cuss a little, blah 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 blah. I'll see you there. You buy the tickets. I never want to be like that. For for me, also where I'm like very socially weird.
Mm.
It's hard for me to like do that. So I try and record skits.
Okay.
So I try and like do something that like that people are going to pay attention to the whole time, that they really, they're not going to see 100 times out of 100.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I'm not gonna. I don't want to like not dogging on the people that do,
Mm-hmm.
because you should always do what is good for your character. And for my character of just being goofy and like having fun and doing the whole yeet thing, the pop culture, video games, wrestling thing, I try and make it to where it's more personable, so it doesn't look
Mm-hmm.
like I'm just trying to sell you something.
Mhm.
Right.
I try and make it to where like the average fan can have a good time watching or pay attention to. So
Mhm.
that's why I started doing the whole skit thing. Like I do like video editing and stuff.
Okay.
So um, so whenever I got the ideas to do skits, sometimes I'll drive in my car and listen to music, and I'll
Mm-hmm.
I'll listen to music where I'm not really familiar with the song, so I can get an idea of where like I try and picture myself in music of like what I would be doing, sort of like it's a music video.
Okay.
So
Hmm.
that's how I get my ideas for these promos. And there was like times to where I couldn't do a promo because like I had a sore throat or I was sick or something. So I thought of like the flashcard thing, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
I did one where I was playing mini golf because I was on vacation in Myrtle at the time, and like I started including my grandma in promos because like my grandma raised me, so
Okay.
so I wanted to include her because I feel like she would love that,
Uh,
because like she's super supportive of me wrestling, so it's like it's a way of me of giving back because I want people to see her too and stuff like that. So it's that's how I try and be different with my promos. I try and be different with my wrestling and with the whole yeet thing because like I try and get the crowd involved a lot. Like I don't do like a lot of flips, and like I'm not going to hit the hardest, because I'm a smaller guy. So I always try to pander to the crowd to try and get them involved and be friends with them because they're the ones that's supporting me. So I'm trying to give back to them. So
huh.
that's how I try.
That's
Oh yeah,
awesome.
man.
That's awesome. What's favorite match so far? Your personal favorite,
Oh man,
or
I
top
I
three?
oh man. Let's see. Matt Cross. This isn't in any particular order. Matt Cross would definitely be one of them. But just be not because it was good, just from where everything was at,
Mm-hmm.
like the crowd and everything like that. I crushed him on a swanton and I felt terrible
Oh
because I
shit.
landed right on him. I felt
Mm.
bad. Like I landed right on him. Matt Cross would definitely be one. Um, let's see. I was in a ladder ladder match, and it was sort of like a handicap match because the person I was supposed to wrestle for the title broke his foot, but his partner took his place. But
Mm-hmm.
the dude still came in and like managed the guy while he was on a ladder mat, or while we were doing the ladder match in
Hmm.
a boot. So they were both like double teaming me. I power bombed one of them onto a ladder with another
Mm.
guy laying on it,
Okay.
with his partner, and then I climbed up and grabbed the title. And Anderson and Gallows were watching, and those two and Scott D'Amore put me over on like during intermission, and it just
Wow.
that one's a good one. I have the footage of that I can send.
Yeah.
Um, Another one, God, there's a lot that's like really good in my mind that I know I'm going to forget.
Yeah. Of course.
Um,
I put you on the
but
spot.
yeah, I would say of course, the QT one, just for how it made me feel. Right place, right time type thing. Also, wrestling, an honorable mention, what's also on there too, would be me and Shane Storm in a singles match. We wrestled for like 45 minutes.
Damn.
And it was like a no DQ. So I jumped off a 20-foot ladder, or it was like 15. It was really high up. I jumped off of it. That one, that memory is a really good one. That one's actually on my YouTube channel.
Cool.
I was also like 30 pounds lighter then because I wasn't working out at the time. I didn't get into working out yet, but that one's on there. You'll see me jump off and do like a Shawn Michaels elbow.
Nice.
You weren't on the juice yet. That's what it was.
That's right. Exactly. Wasn't on the juice.
He's smart.
It's
Every
empty.
time we say on the juice,
I
he makes
know.
sure to grab that cup. He
Yeah.
said, "You're not clipping this."
On the
Yeah.
juice, fellas.
I
It's
can't wait
empty.
for that sweatshirt, bro. On the
Oh, I know
juice.
it. It's gonna be a badass sweatshirt.
And I'm glad you mentioned the 45. You going 45 minutes because that takes me back to you'd like to do an Ironman match. Tim
Yes.
Cross. Let's do it right. 60 minutes. That's an Ironman match in my mind. And
Yep.
let's put Frat Daddy in there with
Oh, goodness.
Huffmanly. And let's do the Ironman match in 2023. Throwing
Vance
it out.
Desmond. Vance Desmond.
Vance Desmond.
So you want to know something funny about Vance Desmond?
Yeah.
I got a funny story.
For sure.
Okay.
Vance Desmond is somebody that has also been a mentor to me, and I also feel really bad that I didn't mention him, but I'm going to mention him now because Vance Desmond is somebody that really helped me, and here's why. So he was someone that looked at me and said, Huff, you have it all. You have the look. You have the wrestling ability. You have the promos, but you don't have the body. And at that time, I was like, I weigh myself daily, and I'm 185 pounds. 2 years ago, I was like 150. Depressed, couldn't eat. I didn't work out anything. I was never like really a body guy. So that really clicked with me because like him being a bigger guy and everything, he was a friend of mine. I decided to actually reach out to him, and he hooked me up because I know he does like bodybuilding, and he helps people with diets and workout plans. So if anybody needs help or anything, it's super affordable. He does all of that. He asks you what you like to eat and like your weight and height. He's amazing. So I ended up going to him and saying, okay, enough is enough. I want to try and look as good as possible. It's time for me to take wrestling seriously. And he hooked me up with that. He gave me advice. He gave me a meal prepping plan, a workout plan, and everything like that. And if it wasn't for him with helping me with my body, I wouldn't have gotten the opportunities that I got over the past few years. So I want to give Vance his flowers because he definitely deserves it. He's somebody somebody that really helped me along the way.
Yeah.
Shout out to Vance Desmond.
Yes.
Vance Desmond, yeah.
Yes.
Even a surprise accidental appearance on the last podcast there. That's a whole long story. He was on my podcast last week, and I guess he hadn't opened his laptop since, and he just happened to open it while we were doing our live show a couple
He's
hours
still on
before.
Discord.
And we're pretty sure he was watching Murder, She Wrote. That's what we think we heard. And so I messaged him on Facebook like, yo, what are you doing? He's like, oh, sorry. I was still in your Discord from where we did the podcast. So shout out to Vance.
That's
so
hilarious.
now we come full circle, and we get the where the influence came. So Desmond came along, and he convinced you. He said, Huffmanly, you got to get on that juice.
Yeah, exactly. I got to get on the juice.
There it is.
We've kept you for over an hour, but we're going to keep you just a few
Really?
more minutes. Lawrence, I'll give you an opportunity to ask one final question. I've got one more, and then we're going
It
to let
feels
this
like we've
man
only
enjoy
been
his
on
life.
for a few minutes. It's been great talking to you guys, by the way, too. This whole interview, I don't even consider it an interview or anything. It feels like friends talking and just having a conversation. So I just want to thank you guys for that.
Thank you.
It didn't feel like anything was forced. It was awesome.
Well, no problem. And I can tell you, I got the clock running. We're an hour and 8 minutes after we just did a 3 hour. So
wow, yeah, you guys are workhorses.
Yeah, we are.
Fuck.
I'll take that.
We do what we got to do. Okay, so I'll just say, first off, don't forget to sign up for my channel. I hate to plug my own channel, Orange's Let's
Oh,
Plays, but
you're
let's get
ahead.
it. We're both gamers, so I know I can count on you. Definitely going to buy your On the Juice shirt. I'm glad I was able to give you an idea for some merch. I can definitely see the Shawn Michaels. I didn't really take it by the ring entrance. I'm going to have to start watching that a little more closely. But as far as the agility and kind of the persona, I definitely see some young Shawn Michaels in you. Were there any other people that you were influenced by? Maybe you've already said this, and I'm just like rehashing a question. I'm not really sure. I don't have a lot of ideas in my head after 4 hours of doing this, but yeah. Is there anyone else that you kind of emulated?
Now it's Adam Cole. Adam Cole
Okay.
is somebody that Adam Cole is somebody that I would love to have a match with because I've actually met him before.
Mm-hmm.
I have a picture with him. Adam Cole, I feel like, is one of the Shawn Michaels 2.0.
Yep.
I feel like in today's wrestling. Adam Cole is somebody that I watch a lot today. Chris Hero is another one. I mean, in terms of like just pure wrestling. I have quite a bit. Ricky Morton, like early Ricky Morton,
Mm-hmm.
for the like crowd involvement. Just trying to figure out, how to get the crowd involved, even if they're sitting on their hands. Just trust me, I've wrestled some shows to where they don't even want to clap for anything.
Yep.
They don't want to move for anything. They just want to sit on their hands, which is fine. I'm going to still do my own thing. Because some people don't want to cheer and some people don't want to boo. Like that, that's okay. That they're just there to watch. And it's like I never really get upset. Really get upset at that. Because some people are awkward being out in front of a lot of people and being comfortable is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So yeah, Ricky Morton a lot. I was thinking I had something over here to remind me of something. I can't think of anything either.
I got one final question.
All right, I'm ready.
It's been a while since we brought this guy up, so I'm going to bring this guy back up into the mix. You have an opportunity to face, in his last match ever, T. Ranchula. If you face T. Ranchula, do you allow him to be put over a little bit, but you still win the match, or do you allow T. Ranchula to go out as a victor in his final match?
60-minute Iron Man.
Okay.
It'd be a 60-minute Iron Man draw.
Okay.
All right.
Draw.
Talk about giving a guy his flowers, man. If T. Ranchula, because he's up there in age now.
Yeah.
We're big T. Ranchula fans over here on WrestleRoni.
Oh, heck yeah. Heck yeah, that's awesome.
All right. Before I let you go, this is the final question I ask all my guests, and I think you are the perfect one to ask this, so no pressure by any means.
I'm ready.
Words of inspiration for my viewers.
Words of inspiration.
You've lived it. You've overcome it. Let them know what they can do with their lives.
I'm going to be cliche, but honestly, cliche is okay.
Yep.
In my eyes. Advice is advice. So the biggest thing for me, I know it's not going to work for everybody. Vance Desmond gave me the opportunity for meal prepping and everything. I was battling depression. I even told him about this because he was asking about food. I told him, it's hard for me to eat because it's like my stomach gets sick because the way my head is. It was hard for me to gain weight. I was really depressed. I used to wrestle with a shirt on because I was embarrassed of like what I looked like. And honestly, I feel like I shouldn't be wrestling. Honestly, I didn't feel like I fit the part. So, I feel like for people that's just struggling to, with their own mental health or feeling like they're not good enough, I always try and tell people to at least try. Like for me, going to a gym, I was nervous because I was the skinny guy, and like everybody's, you know, one of those people that,
Hmm.
you know, gym gatekeepers.
Yeah.
um,
Right.
and also, it's okay to not be okay. Like it's everybody goes through things. Um, not to be, not to try and get emotional, but my best friend that I grew up with committed suicide in 2018.
Mhm.
I found out 2 minutes after I got back from the curtain after a wrestling match because my friends were there.
Mm.
Um, he, I, for years I blamed myself because it's like I talked to him the day before.
Mm-hmm.
His name was Evan. I've got his stuff behind me. He's actually in Fallout 76. If you go to the Mothman statue and you find the letter from Evan, we did a change.org thing to get him on
Oh
there.
wow,
Oh,
Um,
dude,
awesome.
that's awesome. And my
he,
condolences on that
Yeah.
loss, man.
oh, thank you. But I've always been a person that struggled with mental health and feeling like I wasn't good enough or feeling like I shouldn't be here. But I know that whenever I think like that, it's just my head just doing a complete
Hmm.
180.
Yep.
And I know there's people that care. I know that I care about others. And if there was like, I, I don't care who I am or how, you know, I don't care if I was to ever get a contract. If anybody was to ever reach out to me, I would instantly try and help them because I don't ever want anybody to feel like that they're not good at, like they're so bad off that they think that they shouldn't be here anymore.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Um, I every day I try and keep pushing. Every day I try and like make somebody laugh or smile because I like to have a good time and I like for others to have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I always tell people to try and find a hobby, um, something that makes you smile. I don't care if it's like a movie that you have to watch 1,000 times in 1,000 days. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Doing something and going out and getting sunlight is something that another thing that's just really healthy for you, even if
Hmm.
it's just sitting on the porch.
Yep.
Um, but just keep going and keep fighting.
Yep.
Work for what you believe in, work for you. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't do something. I know that's cliche
Mm-hmm.
because, you know, I feel like everybody says that, but honestly, it's so true.
Yep.
There's just so much, so much that I could say that everybody else has said, but I love hearing stories about people overcoming things because it's like an inspiration to me, and I don't see myself as like an inspiration to others because it's like I see myself as a small town guy,
Mm-hmm.
but I I don't ever want anybody to ever feel like they're not enough because everybody has a place in this world as long as like you work hard and you try your best. Everybody matters. Every single person in this world has something in their head that, or just in general, that makes them a good person. Um, and I believe that if we were all to ever work together, I feel like this world would be such a great place.
Yep.
Oh,
So
yeah.
if for anybody that's ever going through anything, just please do yourself a favor and just spend some time to relax. Do a hobby, like do something that makes you happy. Try and make other people happy. Anything like that.
Uh,
So I hope that's something.
oh, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Hell
That's
yeah,
good
man.
stuff. It's very similar to what we say at the end of every episode, which we'll
Mm,
get to that. But
Hmm.
yep, you definitely wise words. Like you say, some of it may be cliche, but it is the truth. It does
mm,
work. Me and Lawrence can both testify. I had a similar situation with my own mother. I heard she
mm,
even wrote me a suicide note, which I never
Mm.
saw. But I have my kids. I have my wife. At 40 years old, I'm living my dream. Almost
mm,
40 years old. Things get better. You have to hang in there. You have to believe in yourself. and you may not think it, but you are inspiring folks. I see the way those kids
Absolutely.
look at you at shows. You are an
Absolutely.
inspiration. So thank you for what you're doing, and you're changing lives. So good on you. Good on you. Let the folks know where they can follow you on social media, where they can buy a T-shirt. Let them know.
I just want to say thank you guys so much for having me on. Also,
No
and thank
problem.
you guys for the kind words. But you can find me on Instagram at Huffmanly. It's Huffmanly. It's just Huffman Ly. Um, at the Huffmanly on Twitter. You can find me on Facebook as well. Same exact thing. Um, YouTube. You can just type in Huffmanly. It's a picture of me going like a goofy picture of me on the profile picture for YouTube, which I'm going to be doing a mass upload on the old computer right there.
Nice.
Of my wrestling matches, because a bunch of the bangers that I've had, sometimes it's hard to get a hold of those promoters to get those matches.
Yep.
But I have a lot of on my Google Drive I'm getting ready to upload. So hopefully if you guys, like anybody watching, listening, anything, watches my matches, I hope you guys have fun watching them, because I like my matches to have fun. I like to have fun in general. My pro wrestling tees, anything. You could even message me on any social media to get any merch. I'll mail it. Like trading cards. I have my official AEW promo pictures that they took that I have as well.
Nice.
Video game and style inspired T-shirts. I used to have wrestling buddies. I had quite a few of them.
Nice.
Anything like that. And I don't try and scalp people for money. So I make it as cheap as possible, because I don't like when people overcharge for their stuff.
Oh yeah.
So I make everything affordable as I can. So that's what I try.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, that I believe that is everything of mine. Social medias, everything.
Cool. We're definitely gonna invite you back. I'm gonna ask you to hang on here with me and Lawrence after we wrap the show, just so we can
Heck yeah.
do all that good stuff. But Lawrence, another grade A quality human being. I don't
That's
know.
all we have on here, buddy. That's it.
It is.
Heck
It's crazy. No, thank you for real.
No, thank you. For real, man.
Yes, thank you guys.
No, it's appreciated. We appreciate the hell out of you. And again, to the viewers, I mean, there's good folks out there. There's folks busting their ass, paying their dues, and still doing it with a smile on their face, and still being kind, and it's not such a uncool thing. If you ask me, Huffmanly's pretty fucking cool. So you can be nice, and you can be kind, and you can be open, and you can deal with your feelings and the chemicals in your brain, and still be cool. So,
and also just to add another point, guys, make sure to surround yourself with good people.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's no need to be around negativity and shit. Be around good, solid human beings like this esteemed guest that we have today.
That also want to help you.
Yep.
That doesn't judge
Exactly.
or doesn't do that just fits your energy. Find people that match your energy. That's the good thing.
Yep. And do you guys know where you can find some good people, some fun people? This Saturday, you can find them in Monongah, West Virginia at Krampus Mania. Come down and join us. Have some fun. Yell, clap. Meet some cool people. Meet some cool fans. Meet some cool wrestlers. There's going to be a lot of grade A humans there, too. Come down and join us. When this podcast drops, it'll actually be tonight. Come on down tonight to Krampus Mania. Huffmanly in action. Until then, be kind to each other. Don't take no shit. Live your dreams. Love each other. Love yourself. I've been Spooky Lou. That's been Lawrence. That's been Huffmanly. Another episode of WrestleRoni. Yeet.